Hi everyone, this is Mary coming to you from my den. I've never recorded down here before because the lighting is not that great, but we're going to give it a shot tonight and see what happens. So thank you for taking time out tonight to do this self-care kind of informational class. We are just going to talk about a couple of things that we probably already know but need to be reminded of, because a lot of times, especially as women or busy parents or full-time working parents or a stay-at-home parent who also is trying to run their young living business or a side job, there's just so much that is put on our shoulders and so much that we have to remember to do that 9 times out of 10 we get stuck on the back burner, like as a person, as our hopes and dreams, and we know that we shouldn't, but what do you cut out? You know, there's like, do I choose me or do I choose my kids? So sometimes it comes down to that. And obviously it's a case by case basis, but this will hopefully help you with a couple of ideas that will maybe give you some information that might help them making those decisions a little easier. So I mean, we know the basics, right? I mean, we have to exercise and eat right and get lots of sleep, and those are the things that are supposed to be good for us. But what happens when those things are completed, but we still feel stressed, we still feel tired? Like, what's the missing link? I mean, are we supposed to be stressed all the time? Like, is that our lot in life, is to feel stressed and tired and just, you know, we can't lose that extra 10 pounds that we're trying to lose? You know, what is it that's causing that? Well, I think a lot of times that missing link is self-care. And this is a topic that I have just recently started getting a little bit more in depth with. And there's a lot of good ideas out there. I mean, you Google self-care ideas and you'll come up with a million hits, because there are just so many people out there that want to give you their version of self-care, but only you can know what is right for you and works with your schedule. Like for me, for example, I work from home. I have 2 kids and a husband who also works sometimes in the home, sometimes out, depends on what his day is like. My kids go to school. I don't homeschool or anything like that. God bless you, those that do. But today my daughter wasn't feeling well, which is rare because she always is healthy. And so she spent the day at home, and it was definitely a change. I loved having her here, and I loved being able to watch her and be the mom and make sure she was okay. But at the same time, my day kind of shifted a little bit because I couldn't just focus on me and my business and what I needed to get done. So it was definitely a lesson and a reminder that you have to be flexible for these kinds of things. You know, you can't always have a very strict schedule and follow it to a T. Things are going to come up, you know. Just there's so many things that we can do to better ourselves. So one of those things is water. Now, I know you're like, "Oh, I know I have to drink at least 8 glasses a day. You know, I have a hard time." Tea is not water. The water in pop or soda is not water. Juice is not water. It has to be like straight up water. So I have a little story about why water is important. So this past weekend, we did a fundraiser at my son's school, and on Saturday, we were outside all day from probably about 8:30 in the morning until about 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. We were out in this tent selling hamburgers for this massive St. Patty's Day parade that goes through this tiny little town. And it ranged from between 7 to 19 degrees all day, and it was cold. But, you know, you keep moving and whatever. Just a weekend we gave up to do this fundraiser. Well, I didn't drink any water on Saturday because I was just running. I maybe had like a bottle throughout the day. Well, Sunday came and I had a headache, and I didn't want to take, you know, any medicine for it. My oils weren't working, and I'm like, gosh, what the heck is wrong? I drank 2 glasses of water, and within 15 minutes, my headache was gone. And that's the only thing that I did. I didn't even put peppermint on. I didn't put M-Grain on. I didn't, you know, take a nap. I just drank some water, and that was it. I fixed it. So caring for yourself isn't just about doing certain things like events that you like. It's about doing what your body needs before you even realize that it's needed. A lot of times, like my father-in-law will say, give me an oil for this, or give me a supplement for this, and I'll give it to him. and it'll work, and then he'll stop taking it because he feels good and doesn't think that he needs it anymore. So yes, I understand that you feel good, and I'm glad that you feel good, but there's a reason that you feel good. You can't stop doing what brought you to that point in the first place, you know? Another thing that I've done recently that I'm really glad that I did was turn off the notifications on my cell phone. I can still check my cell phone. I can still look at messages and stuff, but I don't get that little ding every time somebody messages me on Facebook. And that has decreased my stress and given me a little bit more self-love a lot. So, I mean, I get a lot of messages throughout the day from friends, family, you know, members of our team, other people who are just kind of asking questions. And I felt like when I heard that little notification go off, that to be a good leader, I had to like answer it like right now. And that's not the case. You can still be a good leader, but if you're in the middle of reading a story to your son or playing cards with your daughter, you know, you hear that ding and then you're like, you got to hurry up and get through the game because they might need you. That's not important at that moment. That is one thing that I really believe everybody should do if you can, if you haven't already. Some of you are maybe like really anal retentive like me, and I have to answer all the messages, but if I don't know what's there, then it doesn't stress me out. It doesn't make me frustrated or anxious to know that it's just waiting there. Well, I have to hurry up and finish what I'm doing. So that has really, really cut down on my stress and really helped me kind of love myself more, and the time that I'm in it, I do it, and I love what I'm doing right at that moment instead of having something else waiting in the wings, if that makes sense. Another thing that we really have a hard time doing, and it's disservice to us, is we can't say no. I hear so many women, not so much men, because I think that they can say no, and it doesn't, you know, reflect badly on them. My husband can say no, you know, it's no big deal, but when I say it, I feel guilty. And so I've been practicing saying no lately a lot more. And for example, last week I was asked if I could fill in at my son goes to a small Catholic school. My daughter went there too. And it's very small, and everybody helps each other out. And there's only like 4 teachers in the whole school and a secretary. And she's only there like a few days a week. And she's like, can you sit in the office for me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? And I was like, I actually could have, but I had so many things that I wanted to get done. I had like all these plans. I had like this huge to-do list, and I was so close. I almost said, sure, no problem. And so I said, if Monday would help you out, that would be great. I could do Monday. And there, I helped her out, but I didn't do the whole thing. And that was really hard because I just wanted to help her out so badly because she's such a nice person. But it wasn't the best use of my time, and it wasn't acknowledging my ideas and my thoughts and my wants and my needs. It was jump to someone else's need, but we'll get to that in a second here. Another thing that really has helped me with self-care is writing down my goals. And I know it sounds hokey and I know it sounds silly, but it has worked. And I write down my goals and I revisit them every day, almost every day. I'll journal a little bit about what I've done to try and get closer to that goal. And it's just putting it in the forefront of my mind of something that I want to see accomplished. Maybe it's something that I personally can do for myself. Maybe it's something, a goal I want for my business. Maybe it's something that I really want to see my children achieve because I know they're so close to reaching it. So these goals are something not just personal, but business and family related. And by writing them down, you are putting them out there. Oh, someone just signed in. Hi, whoever's there. So what's that?
I said, this is Becky Person.
Oh, hi, Becky. How are you?
Good, good. Should I mute myself?
I can mute you.
Or how do I do that?
Yep, you're good. I'm just going to talk. So I'll unmute you at the end if you have any questions. Is that okay?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thanks, hon. Hold on. So writing down these goals and trying to figure out what is going to serve my best purpose? What is going to help me get to the next point that I want to grow to? It's not being wishful. It's actually being deliberate and intentional with how I want this to happen. And by putting myself and my dreams and my thoughts first, that is actually a form of self-care. If you don't do that, you're kind of just floating around. Like sometimes I think, hi Jen. Sometimes I think that there's just a lot of ways that we can get sidetracked. And there's a lot of different ways that we can, hi Han. There's a lot of different ways that we can stop working on ourselves. Like when I look at my life, I kind of think, am I just floating along, or do I have a purpose? You know, is this something that I really want to focus on and get done? Or am I just kind of going at the speed of everyone else that needs me? And not that that's a bad thing, but I don't think you're getting enough out of life if you don't focus on that. So that is one thing that I've really started to do. Write down your goals, your wants, your dreams. Even if they don't come true, or if they don't meet it in a certain time frame, you still have that pull. You still have that want. You still have that dream or that goal on the other horizon. So a lot of things for me for self-care. Another thing I do is I stay up late. And I know that goes against, you know, all this whole getting enough sleep kind of thing, but I love it. I'm a night owl. I hate mornings. Do not ask me to come to a morning meeting because I will show up, but I'm going to be probably kind of grumpy. But I love nights. I'm a night owl. If I could stay up till 1 a.m. and sleep in until like 10 a.m. or something, that would be like my perfect day. But, you know, the reality is I have a family. You know, I have kids and I have a husband and I have, you know, people that want to talk to me before 10 a.m. So, but I do like to stay up late at night. It's the only time I can get completely alone. You know, I need that silence to kind of reset myself. And sometimes I sacrifice my sleep for it, but for me, that is worth it for me. That is one form of my self-care. I need time where it's silent, where I won't get interrupted, that I can collect my thoughts, plan out tomorrow, reflect on the day, what went good, what could be changed better for tomorrow. That is just something that it works for me. I know some people in my team go to bed earlier because they have to get up earlier. And if that works for them and that's their form of self-care, hey, more power to you. You just keep on doing that. So at night, when I usually probably a couple times a week, my husband and I will sit down and just catch up on some shows that we like. And I used to bring down my laptop or my cell phone. And while the TV was going, I'd just kind of scroll through. And one of the things my business coach recently told me, she said, don't do that. Do something constructive like color or draw or doodle or something along those lines. So I actually bought one of those adult coloring books and some really, really nice colored markers. And that is what I do in the evenings now is I color these pictures. And sometimes I get these really great flashes of inspiration as I'm doing them. Sometimes it's just kind of mind numbing and it's just kind of therapeutic and I don't have to talk or really register anything. I just color and it's so nice and relaxing. And that is a form of self-care because I'm actually taking the time to rest my brain. Coloring is not a hard job. Coloring is very easy. So if that's something that you want to do, try it and listen to what thoughts come up. See what kind of peaceful thoughts that come up when you're coloring or just sitting there knitting. I know some people in our team like to knit or crochet or, you know, that kind of stuff. Maybe that's something therapeutic you could do besides, you know, having two forms of electronic devices on. That's my problem. I always used to have both on and that was just too much. So now it's just a little bit more relaxing. Another thing, I recently read a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendrickson. And I know I talked to you about that book, Jen. I think it's something that everybody should read at least once, if not multiple times. But when something good happens in your life, you know, just stop for a moment and think of something really good that happened in your life, maybe in the last year. So I have to ask you, was it immediately followed by something really bad? If you can think of something really good that happened in your life that was immediately followed by something bad, you may have some kind of a self-imposed limit that you don't even realize is there. A lot of times we subconsciously believe sometimes that we are not capable of having that amount of happiness or that amount of success or that amount of like happy wonderfulness happening to us. And so we just put on the brakes because we're like, wait, no, I can't handle this. Before anything goes wrong, I'm just going to sabotage myself. I don't mean to, but it's just this subconscious self-sabotage thing that we have. And we put the brakes on and we kind of stay in our comfort zone of where it's kind of like happy medium. And busting through that limit that we have is scary. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's the best thing that you can do for yourself sometimes, because how are you supposed to know how large your goals can be? How are you supposed to know how far you can go if you don't actually break through that limit and get to it? So this book kind of tells you how to do that and how to take some steps, how to get through that break so you can actually enjoy happiness and not feel guilty about it and not try and put the brakes on it. So that was called The Big Leap by Gay Hendrickson. So another thing too, your kids are watching. If any of you are listening and you have kids, and they see you trying to juggle all of this, and they see you trying to do everything for everyone, what kind of lesson are they picking up from you? They see that you're a hard worker, but do they see that you love yourself? And do they see that they can learn how to love themselves? Are they going to feel guilty the next time they want to sit down and read a book because you've never done that? That's another thing I hope to be, a legacy I hope to leave for my kids, is to show them the way to take care of themselves and to show them the way to just relax for a little while, and just take time for themselves and not feel guilty about it. And like I said, this is a journey that I've just recently started. This isn't anything that has been like my whole life. I mean, my whole life has been people pleasing, and trying to get others to be comfortable and happy and satisfied. But if I don't have a cup to drop out of, how am I going to fill everybody else's cup? You know what I mean? I have to be able to fill my own before I can fill anyone else's. You can't juggle it all, so don't make your family think that they can too. I think, Jen, I mentioned this example to you, but the husband folding towels thing. So my husband is like, he's just the sweetest. I mean, he tries so hard to make my life easier, and he sees when I need a break, and he just tries so hard to be nice. And I remember when I was kind of first letting him help me, like letting down the guard that I can't handle it all. That was hard, but I knew he knew I was making an effort. So one day I was folding towels in the laundry room, and he's like, let me give you a hand with that. And he came in and he started folding towels, and he did it wrong. He was doing it all wrong. And I kind of looked at him, and he's like, what, am I doing it wrong? And I'm like, no, that's fine. That's very good. Good job, honey. But the point he wasn't doing it to make my life harder. He was making an effort because he loved me. And that whole shift in your thinking takes some practice, but once you practice it, it's easier to do. Your kid is sweeping the steps and they're making more of a mess than they intended to, but it's coming from a place of love. So stopping just to acknowledge that those people are trying to show you love, even though it's not in like your way, that is actually a form of self-love for you. I mean, that is loving yourself by actually allowing them to help you because they want to show their love for you. And it's such a hard hurdle to break because it's not something that we're really used to. We want to just do it ourselves because we'll do it right. But how are they supposed to learn, if they don't take a chance? So the towels are folded wrong. You know what? Every time I see a towel that's folded wrong, I just thank my husband. I just think my husband loves me and he was trying to help. So now I look at it and I try and think that instead of, I should refold that. Basically, you have to take care of yourself because nobody else will. I think that, people, your kids, your husband, your coworkers, your friends, if they don't know your limit, they will unknowingly take and take and take and take because they truly don't know when to stop. And if you're willing to give, why would they stop? You know what I mean? So if you're available to give it all, they will more than likely take it all, not one in particular person, but just kind of spread across the board. So if you set up gentle but firm boundaries on what you can do and what you can't do, it's kind of a shock at first for some people because they are so used to you saying yes all the time, and of course I'll help you, and yes, I'll listen to your 20-minute story. And sometimes you have to do that as a friend, but when people start advantage, then it's time to put your foot down gently but firmly, because you love yourself too, not just your friends and family. You love yourself, and for your own peace of mind and for your own self-love, you have to do it this way, because otherwise it's just going to eat you alive. It's going to make you miserable. It's going to make you sad, and it's just going to be to a point where you're not even going to want to be around anybody because you're just afraid that somebody's going to take something from you that you have nothing to give. So by putting these boundaries in place, find something that works for you. I know that everybody's life is busy. I know that we all have like really major busy schedules, and we work and we do this whatever. I know one person on our team that she doesn't have time for anything, but she makes priorities for eating out. That is her thing that she makes time for. And to her, it's just one more thing to do, but I don't think she realizes that that is what she enjoys doing. And it's always one more thing to do on her list, that she doesn't take the time to sit back and actually enjoy someone serving her a meal that is delicious and she doesn't have to cook. So it's just even realizing things that you're doing that you don't think of as a self-care, but it actually is. So take a time to say, okay, I actually do love myself because I'm doing this. So it's setting boundaries, letting people know where you stand on things, asking for help when you need it, saying to your husband, you know what, I need a day. I just need a few hours. I need a morning, just something. Because if you don't, I'm not picking on husbands, but they're not women. They just don't get the subtle hints. They don't get the subtle cues of what's going on. You literally have to say, Saturday morning from 8 a.m. to noon, I will be unavailable. Can you hang out with the kids? Or can you let the dog out? Or can you just leave the car keys for me so I can take the car? I think it's just being so blunt and asking what you need. It just makes it that much easier for you to love yourself, because you are setting those boundaries and you are writing it down and you are making time for yourself. Then that way is all full circle back to you. Then you can give that out to other people. So we've got about 7-8 minutes left. I will unmute. Becky and Jen are on right now.
Yep.
Hi, Jen. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
Good. And Becky, I talked to you. How's everything going for you ladies this week?
Crazy busy.
You are a busy lady, Becky.
Well, yeah, now because I work for accountant's office, well, during tax season on top of everything else I do.
Oh, gosh. It's almost April.
Yeah.
So can I ask you, ladies, what's one thing that you've done this week? Well, I guess it's only Monday. How about this weekend? Did you guys do anything this weekend that made you feel like it was good for you to do it?
I like
Saturday,
reading at night.
What's that, Becky?
I like reading at night.
Oh, is that your kind of release, that relaxing part you need?
Yes. I also crochet.
Oh,
How about you, Jen?
You're a crocheter. I got to learn how to do that. Yeah, Jen, how about you?
I don't know, like Saturday we had a busy day that we were supposed to go to a wrestling match, and the kids woke up and they're like, I don't want to drive 2 hours in the car. I'm like, perfect. I don't either. So we all just kind of, I mean, I had chores to do around the house, but we were just kind of all lazy, and we just kind of all needed a day to rest, and we really honestly didn't do anything. It was wonderful. You know, we kind of read and hung out, watched some movies, played some games, and didn't do anything besides that. Stayed in our jammies all day.
When is the last time you did something like that?
It's been a little while, yeah, because we're probably pretty busy, but yeah. Then Sunday, of course, I'm like, oh gosh, I got to get some dishes done, and we have to do a few little things here, guys.
Oh.
But besides that, no.
Do your kids carry their weight pretty good?
They do, but sometimes they're so busy as well that I don't like to, they only have so many hours at home. I mean, we're talking literally from, what time do we get home tonight? 6:30,
Mm-hmm.
between me cooking supper and then, 6:37, they get 2 hours at home. Because 8:30 we try to put them to bed.
Yeah. And you
So
don't
that's
want
what
to
I
have the
was
whole
doing.
time be filled with chores. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, they help, but I don't make them, hey, you have to do this, have to do this. It's more like on the weekends where it's, can you get to clean this bathroom? You clean this bathroom. Can you guys give me 20 minutes quickly? And then we'll, do something fun.
Becky, is it just you at home?
Oh no, I got two daughters out of the house and one son still at home, and my husband.
Okay. So do you get a lot of time to
You know,
yourself that's uninterrupted at home?
no, we also have four dogs and two cats in the house.
Chaos.
So we do have chaos, but now that the two daughters are out of the house, I find myself a lot more going, what am I going to do? The boys are gone, and I don't know what to do for myself.
Are you like a volunteer
I
kind of person? I mean, like, would you ever like volunteer? I mean, don't spend all your free time helping others, but I mean, once in a while.
Well, I find myself getting into my crystals and my rocks more, and then I read more when they're gone and when they're busy. And
Mhm.
then I just go into my woman's cave that I've made since the girls moved out. And I just work on my oil stuff too and read about different recipes and things to make classes out of and stuff. So I do spend time for myself to build my business too.
Good for you. It sounds like you have a very well planned out day most days, huh?
Yeah, I'm a property manager for properties here in town too.
Okay, okay. So you work during the day and then you like read and crochet and knit and whatever and in the evenings
When I have time.
when you have time. Well, I guess making time is hard sometimes, but I mean, as long as you've got once in a while, even like
Yeah.
tomorrow, for example, I'm kind of taking like a day. I'm gonna go meet a couple people on our team to give them some like samples that they wanted in a book that they ordered. I'm going to stop and pick up tomorrow's going to be a running day for me. And I just know that it's not going to be like a relaxing merry day. It's going to be like out and about getting stuff done. And I'm prepared for it. I know that tomorrow's going to be a busy day, but I know tomorrow night after volleyball, then I can actually sit down and relax and color or do whatever. But it's all about balance, right? I mean, you can't have all or nothing. It has to be balanced. So it sounds like you two kind of have found a balance this last week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, good. We got a couple minutes left. Is there any other questions or things that you guys need help kind of deciphering or stuff you need to figure out?
I just need to learn how to get people to come to my classes.
Do you live in a pretty populated area or no?
Oh, in a city, yeah. So I
Okay,
think they've got a city of 8,000.
okay. So how are you promoting your stuff?
Facebook, and I got some posters hanging at my usual business place. I haven't ventured putting more posters out though.
So why do people say that they don't come?
Don't have time.
Oh,
The biggest one,
okay. Do me a
and I don't
favor.
want to push them.
Oh, yeah, it's not being pushy. It's mostly just making it sound like it's something they can't live without. It's like something that, what is it? Why should they come? Like, why is it good for them? The next event that you have on Facebook or the next thing you post on Facebook, can you invite me? And then maybe I can just like kind of help you find some tips and tricks that might work.
Sure, I can invite you to tomorrow night's class online. Well, it's going to be at the Holiday Mall, but I can put you on the list.
Okay. Yeah, let do that please, because then I can kind of see like what approach you're taking and maybe we can like brainstorm with some new approaches and see if it works better.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make you awesome. Awesomer.
Yep.
How about you, Jen? Anything you got on your mind right now?
No, not really, I guess. I've
Okay.
completely forgot about this. I was like putting kids to bed and making beds and
Oh, I know. I
So,
did the same thing. Making beds, laundry. I know. You know what? The important thing is you guys got on and you took the time to take this little, whatever. So thank you both for jumping on tonight, and I'll place this recording up so others can watch it too. But yeah, thanks for hanging out tonight, and I'm sure I'll talk to you guys on Facebook over the next couple of days here. So, but Becky, yeah, let me know when that event is or invite me. And Jen, if you need any help this week, just let me know.
okay, thank you. Yeah, I
Okay.
feel better after our call last week.
you.
So,
Good. I'm glad.
thank you.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Very glad.
Yes.
Becky, we'll talk to you soon too, okay?
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Okay, have a good night, ladies. Thank you.
Thanks, you too. Thanks,
Yep.
Mary.
Bye.
Bye.